Hi, this is Bonnie from Mom by Example, and I'm so excited to be talking about decluttering today because I've seen the difference that it's made in my life and the life of my children. I am making this YouTube video in January, and social media is full of posts about organizing, and those are great posts. They even have, a lot of them have free downloadable sheets that you can print out and help you declutter your activities and your time and your stuff, and that's great for most people. Well, most people maybe, except people like me. I consider myself a Messie. After a lot of research, I've discovered that God's created people in two different categories relating to their stuff, Messies and Cleanies. It's not that one's better than another. It's not that one's lazy and the other isn't. It's just that we're different. I call myself a recovering Messie. Messies tend to go from one thing to the next, and we sort of leave a trail. We're also sentimental about our stuff, so it's hard for me to get rid of something. But about 20 years ago, my husband came up to me and said, "Bonnie, you are cluttering our house. We have so much stuff, we're getting piles." And I hadn't even noticed it. The more I thought about it, the more I did realize that I'd spend so much time looking for something. I would waste time by organizing and reorganizing the same stuff because it was just too much stuff. And I had to think to myself, why do I have this much stuff? Well, I figured if I had more toys, my children would play very nicely and they wouldn't need me. Or if I had a lot of books and a lot of magazines that taught me how to be a great mom and a great wife, I could just read them and life would be so much easier. The problem was my children didn't play with all those toys all the time. They still wanted me, and I didn't have time to read those books or magazines because I was being a wife and a mom. And every time I'd look at the books and magazines on my nightstand or in my coffee table, I'd feel horrible because I spent money for them and I never had the time to read them. As I was researching what to do about all my clutter, I came across a book by the Slob sisters. They were advertised on Focus on the Family. I have more information on my blog, Mom by Example, about their book. And I came to understand that I could do something about my clutter, even though I was sentimental, even though I was a Messie. One thing I could do was limit everything, just arbitrarily, randomly limit. How many toys did my children need? How many Barbie dolls does my daughter need? How many Matchbox cars do each of my sons need? I have 5 sons and 3 daughters. I bought each son a plastic Matchbox car carrier. When that was full, they didn't get any more. If they wanted a new one, one had to go out. Each of my daughters was limited to 3 Barbie dolls and 1 or 2 other kinds of baby dolls. I just set limits. How many books do you need? How many clothes do you need? How many pairs of shoes do you need? Do you wear them all? Have you worn everything that you own within the last 2 years, 5 years? We set limits. A friend suggested that I set 7 outfits for each child for fall and winter, and 7 outfits for each child for spring and summer, and that I do the same thing, and I did. And we do less laundry, and it was less of a hassle, and I know exactly what each child needs, and I know what matches what, and I know what I need if I go to the store. Now maybe that's too much for you. Maybe that would be horrifying for you. Well, set 30 outfits maybe as your limit. How would you like to limit your doodads, the things on the wall, the pictures that you have, sentimental items? How many papers do you need from each of your children's Sunday school classes? How many are you saving? How many of their artwork projects are you saving? There's got to be a limit. And I learned by limiting, as I went through my house, my children and I, and we just decided to limit everything, I wasn't really using the items that I had anyway. And what my children and I learned was that our stuff had owned us. Our stuff and all of our activities and all of the items in our life that were just too much were dictating our lives. And I didn't want that. I wanted us. I wanted me to have power over my stuff, not that my stuff had power over me. And my children and I learned that when we went through this process. Stuff became just that, stuff. My children realized that relationships were what was important, and stuff is stuff. My children became great givers. It was not a problem for them to give away their favorite toy, their favorite doll, their favorite coat, because it was just an item and they could replace it. And that's a valuable lesson that we still carry today. The other thing we learned from the time that we decluttered our entire home was that we had been wasting time. We had been wasting time looking for things and putting things away and finding home for things and looking for more things. And what finally dawned on me one day was, whose time was I really wasting? If you read the Bible, it says we can't add an hour, a minute to our days. So I was wasting God's time, and I don't want to do that. And my children learned that too. Time is a valuable gift. We're all given 24 hours a day, and that's it. How are we spending it? The stuff in our home was dictating our time. I didn't want that anymore. How busy are you? Because a lot of times even our activities become cluttered. How many dance lessons does your 3-year-old daughter need a week? How many sports activities does your 7-year-old son need a week? Not that that's wrong. All 8 of my children were involved in a lot of activities, but not all at the same time. We prayed about each of the activities because it involved God's time and our time. And we wanted to do what God wanted us to do. Not everything has eternal value. So we were careful with that. We decluttered our activities, we decluttered our stuff, and we gained time, and we gained peace and order in our home. Now, about the decluttering process itself, every organizational book and blog will tell you pretty much the same thing. It's all good advice. Go into a room if you're going to start decluttering, an easy room like a bathroom, and get 3 bags. Take 3 large empty bags with you into that bathroom. Open up a drawer or a cabinet or a closet and touch everything. So let's say you go into your bathroom, you open up the closet, and there's 14 towels. Well, if there's only 3 or 4 of you in your home, you probably don't need 14 towels. Set a limit. In our house, we had 2 per person. One was in the wash and the other one we used. Touch everything. All right, the 3 bags. You touch a towel, it's frayed, it's stained, it's dirty. That goes in bag number 1, the throwaway bag. You don't want to give that away, and it's certainly not worth keeping. Nobody wants that towel. So the throwaway is for everything that's broken, that's just not good. The second bag is the put away bag. So you're in your bathroom, you open up the closet, and you find 3 baseballs. Baseballs don't belong in your bathroom closet. If you play baseball, your children do, put them in a spot where you can find them. We bought big trash cans, and we lined the side of our garage with trash cans. All of the balls, no matter what size they were, went in one of the trash cans. All of the bats and field hockey sticks and all those kinds of things went in another one. So the first bag is the throwaway. The second bag is put away. You want to keep it, it's just not in the right spot. The third bag is giveaway. You don't need 14 towels for 3 people or whatever limit you're setting. They're in good condition. Maybe the tags are still on them. Maybe you've never used them, but you haven't used them for set a limit. 6 months, 2 years, 5 years? Whatever you haven't learned, whatever you haven't used in a blank amount of time, give away. Now, what does give away mean? You could yard sale it, you could consign it, get some money back, or you could just give it to a local charity in your town. It's a wonderful option, and that's what you do with everything in your home. You take those bags. Now, I have added a 4th bag that I think Messies need because we're sentimental. We keep all those Sunday school papers. We keep all the art projects. We keep everything that our mother gave us and that our grandmother sent us, and we keep all of that, and it's hard for us to give it away. Well, limit it. I have 1 box that I have from my mom's house after she passed away. That's my limit. I took pictures of a lot, and I have a photo album. You can do that with your children's things. But the 4th bag that no Cleanie talks about, what I have called, is the stash bag. So we have throw away, put away, give away, and stash away. And those are for the items we're just not sure about. That sweater that your husband bought you and you loved it a few years ago, but now it just doesn't look quite right on you, but you keep it because he gave it to you. Really? You're not going to wear it. Set a limit. It means something to you, but you haven't worn it in 2 years. Put it in the stash away. Put papers from your children that don't really mean as much as you thought they would in the stash away. When that bag is full, tie it up, put a date on the top of it. Let's say 6 months from now, 8 months from now. Let's say July 1st. Now, give it to your brother, your uncle, your neighbor, your cousin, someone who doesn't live on your property. Stash it in their home or on their property. If you don't have anybody, then stash it in the farthest most corner of your property and don't touch it. Go to the calendar, mark down on July 1st, stash away bags. If you haven't missed anything in those stash away bags, and you probably won't even remember what's in there, give them away. I promise you, you will learn so much about what is valuable as far as the things that you own and what is not valuable, and you will learn so much about time, as will your children. You will be blessed.